talking about the value and importance of storytelling from nonprofits to business, but yet many people, maybe you too, are struggling to really figure out what the heck is storytelling? What does this really mean? I mean, I've been a journalist for many years, and I was attracted to journalism because it's in my nature to key into people, right? I really find people a never-ending source of fascination. So I'm naturally attracted to stories about real people. And I always say, if it's any consolation, I'm terrible at math and I have an awful sense of direction. But I also haven't put a lot of effort into it. So if I did, maybe I discovered that I really did have an unused talent, or at least facility for math, that I didn't realize that I had. So is storytelling a muscle that you can develop? I mean, with some effort, I think it is. One thing you can start doing right away is to make it a point to become a better listener, all right? Train yourself to try and find out one new fact or insight about a person every day, okay? Learn to listen for the details. It'll not only make you a better listener, but it definitely will make you a better storyteller. And we all know a good story when we hear one. A good story pulls us in so completely. We recognize the bad ones. Why? Because they're confusing, or they make us want to check our Twitter feed, right? Right now, you're all listening to this webinar with your focus on being analytical about instructions that I'm imparting to you, and you're being logical in how you're going to interpret them. You're probably taking notes or whatever. So what are you doing? You're using your left brains, all right? Stories, on the other hand, are right brain function, the side of the brain that focuses on creativity and an imagination. Now, what's so great about right brain thinking is that it doesn't require a lot of us, really. All you have to do is sit back and receive. It's like I was saying, listen to people. If what you're hearing is interesting, you get lost in time. You know, you forget about Twitter, and that's what you want your audience to feel when they get to your campaign page. They want to be pulled along for a fun and interesting ride that they really, really want to be a part of. Now, why do I feel confident that you can all achieve this, even if you don't consider yourself to be good storytellers? Because we all engage in right brain thinking in our off hours, when we watch movies or when we read novels. I mean, even scientists will often use case studies when they share their work with a non-scientific community, because case studies are about real people with whom we can imagine and identify. So I'm here today to deconstruct some basic storytelling techniques so that when you leave, you can overlay these storytelling tips onto your crowdfunding idea and identify the thread that will capture your audience. And from that thread, you can fashion it into a compelling story. Now, before I talk about how to do that, I want to mention the fact that I've been talking a lot about audiences, and that's a little bit different than storytelling, although of course they're all connected. So Luis is going to ask a question whereby I'll be able to talk about how to target audiences briefly. I can't get into it real deeply, but at least we can hit on it so you know what I'm talking about. So focus on story, folks. Don't focus on your marketing strategy because, you know, frankly, people don't really care. Are you familiar with this guy? His name is Simon Sinek, and he famously says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. He wrote the book called Start With Why, and if you can manage to, I would really recommend that you get it. If not, go to YouTube and watch his 17-minute TED Talk. It's the most popular TED Talk. So you'll learn a lot from him. I'm going to just go really, really quickly on what his basic thesis is. And in it, he talks about something called the golden circle, by which he believes that all successful people operate. So I don't have the image here, but I'm asking you to imagine concentric circles, okay? On the outermost circle is your what. That's what most of us always want to talk about, what you do. But what we don't realize is that it's actually the most least interesting thing about us. Now go inside one circle and you'll find your why. Your how. Now the how you do something is a little bit more interesting because it involves the creative process. And most of us are very interested in, like an artist's creative process, how you do what you do to make your particular magic happen, right? But Simon Sinek says that your why is dead center. It's what's interesting about all of us, because why we do things explains our purpose, our beliefs, our reason for existing, for waking up in the morning. And our in our new world of connectedness, through crowdfunding and the economy in general, and on the internet, what people want to know about you before they buy into you is why they should give you money. So they have to know about why you want to do something in order for them to be interested in giving you money. Now, I mean, I really wasn't kidding. This is rooted in biology. Our brains are sort of trained to recognize patterns, and knowing those patterns and how to work with them is what will capture people's attention in your crowdfunding campaigns. And if I can go back to journalism for just a moment, journalists have been employing this tactic forever. That's why all human interest stories that you read will start with an anecdote about one person or one group. So by giving this person a name, a face, a compelling account of who and what they are, boom, your audience will follow you anywhere, and you'll follow the writer to the bigger theme that he really wants to talk about. In your case, it'll be what you want to do to raise money for your passion project. Okay, so and hopefully if you do it right, you're going to be attracting people that want the same thing as you do.